A pleasant morning to everyone. As we begin our program, please take note of some of these reminders. The session will be recorded and will be available on the SPCM YouTube channel. We will be opening a Q&A session at the end of all presentations. For your questions and clarifications, you may scan the QR code on the screen or go to menti.com and use the code 3875637. Questions specific to the class may be directed to the homeroom advisor after the presentation. The general orientation of the HEAL program Beyond Borders may be viewed in the school's YouTube channel. Good morning once again, everyone. As we begin this virtual assembly, we come together in the presence of our Lord, who has blessed us constantly. May I request everyone to be disposed for the prayer to be led by one of our CLVE teachers, Mrs. Myla Aquino.
Let us be aware of Christ's presence in our hearts and adore His holy name. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God, our loving Father, we thank you for your loving care of all creation and your protection. Guide us over all. We come to you today as we gather now for our first parents' assembly. We bring before you all the sisters, staff, teachers, and administrators as we continue the teaching ministry of Christ. Guide us with your wisdom, and may we be empowered by your Spirit to see the needs of our learners and to inspire those under our care. We bring our dear parents and guardians before you to be present in their lives whenever they feel overwhelmed, frustrated, and confused. May they never feel alone or abandoned. Strengthen them from within so that they might be a source of strength, confidence, and hope for our children. Most of all, we bring before you our students in our hybrid and online learning modalities as they pursue their education in the midst of pandemic. Enlighten their minds, may they grow in grace and wisdom. In areas where they lack, provide them knowledge, understanding, counsel, and fortitude. Keep them safe from all illness and protect them from all harm. We ask all these things through the intercession of our Blessed Mother and through Christ. Amen. Mary, our Mother and Model, pray for us. Saint Paul, our patron, pray for us. Father Louis Chauvet and the First Sisters, intercede for us. May the love of Christ impel us now and forever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Please rise for the Philippine National Anthem. Okay, dear parents, we are just fixing certain technical issues. However, we will still be having the Philippine national anthem. That said, I hope you were able to take note of our Menti code for our Q&A, which is 3875637. Once again, dear parents, may I invite everyone to please stand for the Philippine national anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
We may now all be seated. Good morning and peace be with you, everyone. I am Miss Maria Cristina Delcano and I am your host for today. Our dear sisters, teachers, parents, and guests, welcome to the first virtual Parents Assembly for 2022-2023. Our theme for this school year is SPCM at 80, Journeying Together in Bringing Heart and Soul to Polinian Education. As we celebrate 8 decades of Polinian education, we are delighted that you have made St. Paul College of Makati your institution of choice. Your presence this morning is a signifier that you are in solidarity with the school in bringing the best out of our children. Indeed, it is vital that we begin the school year with one heart and one mind. To formally welcome us to this day's event, we invite our subject team leader for mathematics, Miss Maria Flor Ambas. A round of applause, please.
Sister Mirna Castante, SPC, our Director's Principal, sisters, administrators, teachers, our dear parents, guardians, and students, a pleasant morning to all and welcome to our first Parents Assembly. It is such a privilege for me to be with all of you. Your presence, although virtually, signifies your support not only to SPCM's endeavors, but of course to your children's future. For that, we thank you for putting your trust in our beloved school. They say it takes a village to raise a child. Indeed, the Christian formation and holistic development of our Polinians takes cooperation and collaboration. Together, we will mold these young children to be competent, compassionate, contributing members of the society. The mission of SPCM will only be realized with your participation. Hence, this gathering is also an acknowledgement of your crucial role you play in the implementation of our programs and activities. SPCM has faced various challenges due to the transitions happening all around us. And yet, here we stand, ready to face these new adventures, especially the ones brought about by new learning modalities. We have the courage to implement these changes because we know you, dear parents and guardians, are our ally in this undertaking. Today, you will vote amongst you a set of officers. Let this move inspire your children to be trailblazers and influencers. May they pave the way for transformation and innovation. Your set of officers will plan programs. Let this be an encouragement to your children to lead a balanced life. In this volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, or what we call VUCA world, let us navigate together so we may clear the path towards a future that we envision for our children. Let us join forces to raise agile graduates who will create their own niche. We know that we will journey hand in hand. This assembly is a beginning, a renewal of our commitment to strengthen the bonds of collaboration as one SPCM community. Once again, good morning and Caritas Christi Urget Nos.
Thank you, Ms. Flor, for your message. St. Paul College of Makati is built by a team whose priority is ensuring that SPCM is indeed a second home for our children, even in an online or hybrid setup. To introduce the members of the SPCM community, we'd like to call on our Human Resource Management and Development Coordinator, Ms. Marian Doploso.
To our dear sisters, administrators, teachers, employees, parents, guardians, students, and guests, good morning, everyone. It is an honor to present to you the SPCM community for school year 2022 to 2023. Let me start with the SPCM administrators. Sister Mirna Castante, SPC, our Directress Principal. We also have our Finance and Administrative Services Head and Local Superior, Sister Mary Urban Mago, SPC. Sister Maria Socorro Marcos, SPC, our Christian Formation Services Head. And for the lay administrators, we have Mr. Raymond Andre Samonte, our Academic Services Head. Ms. Vanessa Agris, our Research Planning and Quality Assurance Coordinator. And yours truly, Ms. Marian Duploso, your HRMD Coordinator. For the Director's Office, we have Ms. Charlotte Mariden Paminiano, our Secretary to the Directress. We also have the Alumni and External Relations Coordinator, Ms. Mary Rose Insigne. For the Christian Formation Services, we have our subject team leader for Christian Living and Values Education, Mr. John Vincent Perez, and our Community Engagement Services in charge, Mr. Evmel Reyodique. For the Finance Services, our bookkeeper, Ms. Ella Pilapil, Student Accounts and Payroll, Mrs. Julibeth Viola. For Production and Supplies, we have Ms. Marilyn Cubar and Ms. Princess Lorenzana as our cashier. For the Administrative Services, we have Sister Maria Del Bonzon, SPC, our OIC for Administrative Services, and Mrs. Ananciacion Mendoza, Assistant to the Administrative Services Head. We also have our school nurse, Mrs. Jean Roseline Valiente. For the Academic Support Services, from the Guidance Services, we have Ms. Vanessa Agris, our Guidance Counselor, Mr. Jan Chiresco, our Guidance Facilitator, Mrs. Eunice Camille Borja, our Psychometrician. For the Registrar's Office, we have Ms. Resti Lazarita, our School Registrar, and Ms. Rosana Rivera, our Registrar Staff. For the Information and Communications Technology, we have two ICT staff, Mr. Marlon Castillo and Mr. Lester Kanyamake. Under Academic Services, for Academic Team Leaders, we have Ms. Maria Cristina Delcano, our Instructional Services Team Leader, Student Affairs Team Leader, Mr. Cedric D., and our Homeroom Guidance Team Leader, Mr. Emmanuel Aldrin Ferrer. We also have Ms. Clarice Sosing, our Senior High School Team Leader. Under Academic Team Leaders, we also have our Subject Team Leader for English, Ms. Ana Lorraine Domingo. For Mathematics, we have Ms. Maria Flor Ambas. For Science and Robotics, we have Ms. Shara Maika Cervantes. For Filipino, we have Miss Annie Joy Bonzon. For HETLE and ICT, we have Mrs. Renelda Carbonilla. For Araling Panlipunan, Mr. James Rains Morales. And for MAPE department, we have Mr. Nimrod Juyad. Here are the list of our homeroom advisors. Let me start with the early years. For pre-kinder, St. Cecilia and kindergarten, St. John Bosco, we have Miss Irma Liza Ibanez. For kindergarten, St. Bernard, we have Miss Mary Ruth Hopilio. For grade 1, Our Lady of the Holy Rosary, Miss Bea Mariel Almause. Our Lady of Perpetual Help, Miss Clara Marie de los Santos. For grade 2, St. Lorenzo Ruiz, Mr. Kent Brian Raya. For St. Peter, we have Miss Cherry Pabiliore. For grade 3, for St. Anne, we have Mr. Marlon Morota, and St. Elizabeth, Miss Judy Ann Asena. For grade 4, we have for St. Agnes, Miss Mary Rose Insigne. St. Therese of the Child Jesus, Miss Thelma Barreda. For grade 5, St. Mark, Miss Angela April Manzano. St. Timothy, Mr. Justin Ramos. For grade 6, under St. Gabriel, Miss Marilu Atiu. St. Raphael, Mrs. Rizalina Alvarez. For grade 7, Miss St. Aloysius, Mr. RJ Porcincula. St. Maximilian, we have Mrs. Myla Ladan Aquino. For grade 8, St. Agatha, Mr. Judel Organista. And for St. Genevieve, we have Mr. Kian Evangelista. Grade 9, St. Augustine, Miss Angeline Yanko, and St. Martin de Porres, Mr. Ashley Brian Turno. For grade 10, we have for St. Dominic Savio, Miss Marnie Catalogo. St. Alphonsus, Mr. Wes Antonio Lipana. St. Jerome, Miss Romeline Yamio. For grade 11, we have Mrs. Ainsberg Therese Moreno for Mother Mary Ann Deti. And for grade 12, Mr. John Michael Formadero for Father Luis Chave. Here are the list of non-advisors. We have Miss Lailane Varela, Miss Erica Joyce Natavio for English, and for MAPE, we have Miss Virgie Feria. For HETLE and ICT, we have Miss Princess Sarah May Katungal and Mr. Jason Roquero, and for Science, we have Miss Raquel De Torres. Let us work hand in hand to uphold the quality Catholic Polinian education, all for the glory of God. Caritas Christi Urget Nos. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Marian. Again, for your questions and clarifications, you may scan the QR code that you are seeing on the screen, or you can go to menti.com and use the code 3875637. At this juncture, we shall now have some updates and orientations on the programs being implemented this school year. To give us an overview of the OBE framework and other academic programs, I'd like to call on our Academic Services Head, Mr. Raymond Andre Samonte. A round of applause, please.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome once again to the First Parents Assembly. I am in gratitude that I am tasked once again to have the OBE or the orientation of the outcome-based education framework and some updates on the academic programs. Let me start with some of the outcomes based education facts. No? For those who are new to us, our main curriculum framework is enhanced by the outcome based education framework. Even though that we are in the basic education, since most often than not, OBE is applied in the college or in the tertiary level, we manage to curtail or to customize the OBE in the basic education level. So to better understand or better appreciate what OBE is, first we have it's actually a worldwide educational reform that focuses on student learning outcomes. So there is already a movement now in the educational platform or in the educational landscape that there is now a need for us to see what really students are becoming, or what the students would be able to do. Not only what they know, not only what they had memorized, but it's more of what they had become, no, as a person. So therefore, OBE is digging deeper on how learning really is. It's not merely memorizing, it's not merely the concepts that you have on the textbooks, but it's more of what would the students be, being a citizen of a society, being a Filipino, and being a Polinian. So, a major advocate of this reform is Dr. William Spady. And take note that there are different models of OBE. Currently, we are seeing four. No, when we talk of OBE, it is applied in different ways. So we have paradigm number one. We have the first model of OBE. We call it as a tangible OBE. This is where our repetition and modeling of learning comes in. Whenever a teacher, or whenever even an expert, no, even if he or she is not a licensed teacher, he can teach somebody, or maybe the parents can teach their students something, no, through repetition or modeling. That is the first paradigm. This is the first model of OBE. The second model of OBE, or the paradigm of OBE, is the competency based outcome. When we talk of competency based outcome, this is more likely the formal education of standards and competencies, meaning the skills that they gain in school, but it's more likely a superficial, or a subject-based skill only. So more often than not, the schools and other institutions would only have OBE, or apply OBE, on the second paradigm, or on the second level only. And then there comes in a third model, wherein you have mastery learning. So it is encouraged now, or it is revitalized. Meaning the outcomes now are revitalized in such a way to master learning. So it's not anymore focused on the subject based content or skill, but it's more of mastery of learning. And then there comes in another paradigm, or another model. We have now a transformational outcomes based education, wherein there is now a life performance role, or the outcome becomes the student, or rather the student becomes the outcome. The outcome now, if you look at it, at the end of the day, should be the students. Whatever would be, we will be developing, or probably we would be enhancing to the students, or at letting them attain, they are more likely becoming a better person. So in this case, we are now more focused on the paradigm number four, or SPCEM, or St. Paul College of Makati in particular, is now applying the paradigm number four, or transformational outcome based education. So in this case, you would see here a diagram that more likely grows, no, from a small circle to a larger circle, because basically what our view of outcome-based education is more of a combination of the different elements, no, from paradigm 1 to 3 that was mentioned earlier. And currently, the OBE is being adopted in the higher education institution. However, take note that, as I had mentioned a while ago, most of the educational institutions, even in the tertiary level, only applies paradigm number two, or until paradigm number two, wherein it is very competency based and very time based. um, Meaning all of the content, all of the skills have a particular have a particular time that is being considered. Meanwhile, when we talk of paradigm number four, we are more likely focused on what they will become at the end of graduation. Okay, so more likely what we are developing to them are outcomes, or are skills needed for life, not only for a particular subject. Okay, so therefore, the Sisters of St. Paul of Chartres Education Ministry, or the SPC Congregation Education Ministry, adopted OBE in all levels of the education system. So it is really the first in the Philippines. And we are very lucky that St. Paul College of Makati is one of the pilot schools in OBE. And then together with all of the other SPC schools, we are actually undergoing still, no? I think we are on our sixth year, if I am not mistaken, introducing or enhancing OBE in our curriculum. And then more likely developing more ways on how we could be able to have transformational outcome-based education reform. And now you could see in your screen the OBE framework. This is how we are also basing our curriculum, where where we will also be designing later on our programs. Remember what I told you a while ago, that the students have to become the outcome, meaning there are certain expectations for them to exhibit. Okay, so more likely, these are the five qualities that we would be expecting the students to be at the end of graduation or at the end of grade 12. So, what are those? If we are going to take a look at the framework, we always begin at the center, wherein you have Christ centeredness, okay, the one in white font. um, that is our core value, one of the core values of the Paulinian institutions, or one of the five core values. And then we have conscious there as the word. Conscious there would mean the empowering qualities of OBE. And then this is now um, translated, okay, into a certain life performance role. Now, what is that life performance role? That is a mindful, self-directed learner and role model. Okay, so meaning we would, if the students are really Christ-centered, they must be mindful and self-directed learner and role model. Okay, so that is how they will really show that they are Christ-centered. Meaning, you cannot just say that a Paulinian is Christ-centered if they are not learners or self-directed learners and role models. Okay, so meaning if you are going to ask somebody or any Paulinian at that, what what makes a Paulinian unique, then he or she should be able to say, no? Or maybe your child should be able to say that I have these five qualities. Okay. The first is being a mindful, self directed learner and role model. And then we go up. Okay. That is for the Paulinian core value of charism. Now, for charism, we have the life performance role, courageous, resourceful, explorer, and problem solver. So that is again a life performance role, no, that the students would be should be able to develop within the years that they are in St. Paul College of Makati. And a part of this is in line now with the empowering quality of creative. Okay, so that's the second characteristic. The third one is the community. We go now to the right. We go now to the community as a core value. Now, what is the role, performance role, life performance role for this? We have the credible, responsive communicators and team players, meaning the students should be also be a communicator for himself or to others, and then he or she should be able to be a team player, okay, when working towards others or with others. So this is also a part of the collaborative empowering quality in OBE. And then we go down. We have commission. This is where a student or a Paulinian exhibits now a consensus, adept performer, and achiever. This is now how he exhibits to be competent in certain skills. And then the last is charity or being compassionate. This is now a student would be a caring, committed advocate for peace and universal well being. So, in studying this framework, you would also see this in the different offices, in the different classrooms later on. Even in the virtual classes, there are different outcomes that are mentioned by the teachers and the students. So basically, all of the things that they are, the activities, the lessons, the values integration activities as well, the Christian formation activities, all of them are leading into these five characteristics. So therefore, our dear parents, you should be able to expect, no, also, and help us develop the learners into these five empowering qualities, or these five life performance roles. Okay, so um, hand in hand, we would be able to achieve this one. Now, if you would take a look at the framework, the diagram itself, you could also see that there are two ways to interpret it. One is it looks like a flower because we would like to see it that each learner is a certain flower that is ready to bloom in terms of his or her potentials. Second way to look at it is it's also a cross somehow. The charism, Christ-centeredness, and commission represents the vertical line. It means also an individual characteristic. Meanwhile, the horizontal one, the charity and the community, is would represent now the horizontal line, and then Christ as the center. No? And then another is when we talk of the horizontal line, it also means towards others. So the community and charity is also about others. Okay, so when we deal with this OBE framework, this is our guide on how we would be able to come up with certain programs for the learners. Now, also there are certain student affirmation statements. Later on along the way, you would hear your students or your children um, mention this no during the flag ceremony, during the activities, and even in the subjects. So don't be surprised if they would be able to know by heart the different student affirmation statements. This would also enable them to remember, no, a repetition of these statements would help them develop these kinds of characteristics as well. So you have the different statements. I am a mindful self-directed learner and role model, consciously expressing my faith. I am a courageous resourceful explorer and problem solver, demonstrating my creativity and charism. And then I am a responsive communicator and team player, building harmonious community through active collaboration. I am a conscientious, adept performer and achiever, competently pursuing my mission in life. And then the last, I am a caring, committed advocate for peace and universal well being, impelled by compassion and charity for all. Okay, so these five statements are being consistently mentioned throughout the year. And then, as parents, we also have our own formator affirmation. This is um, for all stakeholders that interacts with the students, meaning this is for the employees, this is for the sisters also, this is for the parents, the alumni, and other stakeholders that interacts with the students, meaning we are also expected to demonstrate the following. So maybe try to reflect on this, no, for a little while. um, do I also exhibit being a disciple of Jesus Christ? Okay. Or probably, am I also a Paulinian model of excellence? As a parent or as a guardian, do I also model excellence to the learners? Remember, no, kung ano po yung nakikita ng bata sa kanilang mga magulang or sa mga nakakatanda, naa-adapt po nila yon, no? They can adapt whatever would be the characteristic, the values inculcated by the elders. Okay? And then you are also expected to be a Paulinian community builder. So you should be able to build harmonious relationship within the family. Okay? and even with the teachers, no? And even with your co-parents, no? So sana po walang nag-aaway-away na magulang, no? At the same time, we would be able to have a better communication when we talk of Polinian community builder. Okay. And then are we also servant leaders? Okay. Being a parent or being a guardian or being a member of the SPCM community, we should be servant leaders. Okay. And then the last is a compassionate Polinian steward, wherein you inclusivity and there is now exemplifying kindness and warmth for everyone. Okay, so those are the five formator affirmations that are expected now to the other stakeholders. Okay, so that we would be able to help the students develop these affirmation statements. Okay, and then OBE also is present in the following. You have the recitation of the student affirmation and formator affirmation. You also have the OBE journal. Kasama po yan, di ba? Dun sa parang booklet na makikita natin na blank pages because later on, they would be able to reflect on the different outcomes mentioned. And then this outcomes integration is also included or seen in the pedagogy, meaning how the student or how the teachers would teach. And then for the school activities and homeroom, kasama po siya yung mga outcomes na yon. And then in the assessment, no, even in the assessment or especially in the assessment, we would be able to determine if they had really achieved the outcome, no? Kung talagang naging ganun ba yung naging ganun ba sila. Okay? And then you have visual cues also, even online or in class, in the virtual classrooms. And then we have also OBE implementation trainings. The teachers have consistent trainings on how we would be able to implement OBE in the different parts of the lessons, in the different parts of the programs, whether it's academic, co-curricular, or extracurricular. And then we have a part also of community orientation. So, kagaya po nito, no, the reason why I am having this, it's for us parents or for you parents and guardians to have a better understanding and appreciation of what OBE is all about. Okay? Kasi we should be one in our goals, no? And that is to let them be developed into these five characteristics mentioned a while ago. So even po yung mga non-teaching staff namin, familiar doon sa OBE na yon or ino-orient din sa OBE. And then, may I share to you now the different academic programs that we have? So first, we have the robotics program. We are now gearing towards STEAM. No, yung STEAM po is science, technology, engineering, um, arts, and mathematics. So may part po na arts doon. No, ano po yun? It's because of construction. Um, with learners, sorry for the typo error, learners with education 4.0, no? Ano po 'yun? Kasi yung industrial revolution, we are on the industrial revolution 4.0, wherein there are now hindi lang po automation, no, artificial intelligence na. So with the emergence of the artificial intelligence, we would be able to have a better understanding on how we could move about, no, in this industry or in this educational landscape. Kasama na po dyan yung 21st century skills, no, yung mga critical thinking, collaboration, um, yung mga communication, no? So a part of that is yung sa education 4.0. And then for the robotics program, we have it for grades 7 to 12 for this year. We have the STEAM robotics and coding or the SRC for grades 7 to 10 and circuits and IoT or SCI for grades 11 and 12. Yung IoT po ay Internet of Things, no? Okay, so for the SRC, we have robotics and coding. We would be using the SAM blocks, no, or SAM labs. or the SAM Studio for our program. Meanwhile, for ayan po, yung there is a certain kit as well, no? By the way, for those online learners, do not worry because it works both, no? For the online and on-site. So, ganun pa din, magagawa pa rin natin yung mga different learning tasks, no? On robotics and coding. And then this one is for the circuits and the Internet of Things for grades 11 and 12. They would be using an Arduino module. Okay, so again, it is both done online and on-site. Okay, and then for grade 7 to 12, we also have upgraded our learning resources. They would be able to use, or together with the other St. Paul schools, we would be able to use Odilo. It's more of a learning ecosystem. So you have their different references, researches, articles, etc. And it is also accessible in different platforms as well, meaning, different gadgets, types of gadgets. Okay, so each of you would be having, or each of the learners would be having a certain account, which also parents can use, no, in case that you need them. And then still we have the EBSCO host for from the pre-kinder to grade 12. This is also research databases. This is used by the teachers to enrich the instruction. For the learners, this is also used in some of the learning tasks. And then, okay, so let me also before I go to the updates, let me also inform everyone that for the Genio learning management systems, we would be using it from pre-kinder to grade 12. And for the scholastic program, we would be using it from grades 1 to 6. Okay, so that's for the enhancement of the reading program. Okay, so some updates or probably reminders regarding the academic. So number one is to please refer to the schedule on on-site and online classes. This is released monthly. So we have released already for the month of September and was customized to have equal reporting days in school. Some of the parents have advanced questions that were given. Um, because during the orientation, I've only mentioned first week, second week, or first and third week, second and fourth week, would that still be the same? Generally, the schedule that was released to you more likely follows the same. However, there is a certain customization to have equal number of reporting days because we realize that well, the months does not usually begin with Mondays, no? So at least to have an equal opportunity of having face-to-face classes, we designed it by month. Okay? And then also for the parents to have easier access, no, para din po for clearer understanding, no, kung kailan po papasok yung mga bata. Kasi po in some instances, um the learners would be reporting in school instead of online, meaning their original schedule their schedule is supposed to be online, but they are going to school. So to prevent that, we really had to um, identify or specify the dates wherein they will be reporting. Okay. um, and then please take note that student accounts are intended also for students only. Okay. So therefore, the invites for the classes is intended to be attended by the students only. So because there are certain cases that parents are joining the virtual classroom even sorry po, no, even when their child is on site, no. What I mean is on site, kapag yung bata po naka-on-site, parang nakikita po naming teachers naka-online yung parent, no. We should refrain from that. Okay, parang wag po tayo maging helicopter parent na all the time titingnan po natin yung nangyayari doon sa bata, no. That is for them also to have a sense of independency or a sense of student agency. um, give them a little leeway on that end, okay? Unless na lang po bayaran po natin yung ng dalawang beses yung tuition, okay lang naman po siguro. But kidding aside, um, the purpose of having or inviting the students only in the virtual classes is for them really to learn, okay, and to have that, to develop that kind of independency. So again, please refrain from joining the virtual classroom when your child is online, or rather on site. Okay, and then ensure that your child has the different things. You have the OBE learning journal, PBL resource book, and textbooks. So just in case that you have not received yet, um, the learning journal or probably the resource book, you may communicate with your child's advisor. And then for the textbooks, please communicate with the finance office. And then to also follow the guidelines on the canteen order, electronic gadgets, and other health protocols established. What we noticed for the past 2 weeks is that some of the students are still buying no, down in our canteen, but we would like to minimize that for health protocols as well. Since we are already delivering the canteen orders in the classroom, so it's quite necessary to have to pre-order 1 week ahead so that we could prepare as well. Okay, and then for the electronic gadgets, I think Mr. Ferrer later on would be able to mention that one. And then health protocols must always be observed. Now, take note if symptoms started to occur, inform your homeroom advisor at once. Now, for monitoring, this is also for us to monitor the health status of the learners, of the teachers, and to determine no, if necessary kung kailangan po mag-online both learner and the teacher or the employees. So if the student gets also the virus, the learner may have his or her classes online. No, just inform the advisor, write a letter for approval, and then a negative test result or a 10-day isolation period after the symptom has passed is required, no, para naman din po safe. Kaya kapag na-appreciate ko po yung ibang parent na nag-a-update talaga sa amin kung ano po yung status ng mga bata or halimbawa po nagkaroon ng symptom, ini-inform agad no, si advisor. Okay. And then take note also that Genio accounts are currently being generated. Some of it are available already, some are not. The homeroom advisors will be distributing it through the child's SPCM account. So you may communicate with the child's advisor kung available na po. And then student parent orientation on the different programs in the learning management system, the academic programs mentioned, especially for the new parents and students, they will be scheduled within this month. Um, Kindly take note that instructions will be given in your SPCM accounts. No, some of them are instructions, some of them are videos already for orientation. And then we also noticed that some of you are requesting to put you in the mailing list, in the correct mailing list. We understand that, but it's currently being updated. So just wait for the changes in the succeeding days. No, halimbawa po, grade 5 siya last year, nasa grade 5 mailing list pa siya. Um, okay lang po 'yon, no. Ang importante po na nakaka-receive po kayo ng mga mailing list. If your email or the parent or the student email is not receiving a mailing list, please inform us as well. And then make sure that the student and parent accounts are secured. We are also receiving reports from the admin account that some of the emails are kind of prone to attack, no, for mail phishing. So it is recommended also to change your password regularly. We could also reset it for you, but you have to put in another or a new password after. And then we will inform you as well if there are updates on the learning modality from November 3 onwards. Currently, the Department of Education is still insisting on the DO34 that was mentioned during the parents' orientation. However, there is no final updates yet, no, from the Department of Education. In the given onset of the health environment right now, at the same time with the different requests coming from the different private educational institutions, um, there are still no final updates from DepEd, from the DepEd Central Office. So as soon as we would be able to receive it, we'll inform you. Hopefully, it would also give us time to adjust. So just in case, our dear parents, we are preparing for two scenarios. Okay. One is there is an extension on the hybrid learning and the online learning, and one is we go on full face to face. Okay, so changes in time, classroom setup and modality might be expected. Okay, so if lalo na po kapag kung diretso pa po yung program natin, we will not be changing much. But if in case that there would be really a face to face, there might be really changes in the time schedule, in the setup of the classroom, and the kind of modality that the learners will be in. So you may also refer to the parents orientation video in the Our School YouTube channel for changes in the school fees. It was presented last August 17. Just in case that you missed it, you may go to our school YouTube channel. Just search for St. Paul College of Makati, and then please do access the parents orientation last August 17, 2022. And now at this point, I will be orienting you with two programs, no, two private public partnership programs that we are that we are currently enjoying. So first is the Education Service Contracting, or the ESC, and the Senior High School Voucher Program. As part of the um, documentation and part of the requirements in having this program, may I give now the class an instruction to the classroom advisors. Classroom advisors, can you please take a screenshot of the video? I mean the parents who attended for today's orientation, especially for the grade 7, 6, 7, 10, and 11 po, no? So, dear parents, may I ask you to turn your cameras on if possible? And then may I ask the advisors to take a screenshot, no? With this slide, to take a screenshot so that we could properly document the orientation for the ESC and Senior High School VP, or the voucher program. Sige po, may I give you 30 seconds to do this? Okay. So I hope that the homeroom advisors were able to take a screenshot also together with the slide and the parent. Okay. So what is ESC and Senior SHSVP all about? These are programs that facilitated by the Private Education Assistance Committee. Minsan po kasi nakakalimutan ng ibang parents na part po tayo ng PEAC, no, or the Private Education Assistance Committee. So especially in the high school, wherein the ESC and the senior high school VP is being applied, no. So this is a model of an ongoing private public partnership. yung mga PPPs po na mention sa news, no? This is a very concrete program for a private and public partnership. Now, this has been going on since 1965 po, no? So, ibig sabihin since then, meron na po talaga siya. It was just, I think, way back 2000 something lang po talaga na medyo na-enjoy natin siya, no? And St. Paul College of Makati is a certified education service contracting and senior high school voucher program participating school. So hindi po lahat din kasi ng mga high schools ay nag-enjoy or part or certified by TEAC to accept no ESC grantees and senior high school voucher program beneficiaries. So you are very lucky that St. Paul College of Makati is a participating school. Now, in here on this slide, you could see Miss Doris Ferrer. She is the director, executive director for the Private Education Assistance Committee. Together with her are different board, no, the board of trustees for the fund for assistance to private education. So, ayan, 1968 pa pala po, yan. Um, And then it was amended during 1994. So talagang matagal na po itong program na ito. So different heads from the different associations like CEAP, PACO, and ASCO are also a part as well as the secretary for the Department of Education and the NEDA secretary po. No? And then we also have it is an organization, so therefore we have the management team. So talaga pong naka-screenshot lang po yan kasi pinayagan po kami na yan na po yung pinaka-slide na i-present talaga sa mga parents. No? And then for each of the regions, meron din po mga program directors. So ibig sabihin, ito pong program na ito ay talagang countrywide, no? Or nationwide. So iba't iba pong regions, meron din pong mga program directors to help implement the GASPE program. GASPE program po is Government Assistance for Students, Teachers of Private Education. No? So this is a quick snapshot of the history. More likely po what the history is saying is nakapag-pilot na po siya since then. No? Then there are several programs um, that is being done like the ESC certification program, and then it was extended no to different schools, and then nagkaroon po ng IGASPE law po siya under RA 8545. In-expand po no yung program ng GASPE to include inset or the in-service training for teachers as well as the teacher salary subsidy. So our teachers po are also yung mga licensed teachers po are enjoying the teacher salary subsidy. And then with the emergence of RA 10553 or 10533 rather, or the K to 12 law, ayan, nagkaroon po ng mas organized na GASPE program. No? So kung familiar po tayo dito, lalo na po yung sa high school, yan po yung short history nun. Sa mga grade school parents naman po, this is something that you could look forward to. No? Especially when they reach or when they go to grade 7 and up. No? So yung mga nasa grade 6 levels po, no? Dito na kayo sa St. Paul Makati kasi you would be able to enjoy no yung ating pong ESC. Same thing with the grade 10 no. May mga nababalitaan ko lang po may mga ibang grade 10 na they are already looking for certain schools but they forgot that we have our senior high school, and our senior high school is actually a good program no. And then we have, ayan po, different programs for the e-gospel law under RA 8545. And then we have also the gospel program management. So nandyan po talaga yung certification. Sina-certify po yung school. So we have set of standards or set of quality standards before we are given also um, before we are also given the go signal or the authority to accept ESC grantees. Okay, and then kasama din po dito yung voucher program, and then kasama din po yung monitoring. So currently, some of the performance highlights of the PEAC are the following: 180,000 plus no teacher engagements, meaning that they are the teachers that were trained no by the in the junior high and in the senior high, as well as in the Philippine Education Conference. And then we have also teachers enjoying the teacher salary subsidy. And then we have also 2.1 million student grantees, no? So sa education service contracting, you have 958,000. Baka kasama po yung sa high school, no? Sa junior high, baka kasama po yung mga anak nyo dito. And then we have the senior high school voucher program ng 1.1 million. And then it also catered to around 4,000 schools no currently, at palaki po ng palaki yung mga nangyayari sa PEAC. So ano pong nangyayari? Paano po nangyayari yung process ng pagpili no sa ESC grantee? There is a certain process that is being advised or being recommended, like the school campaigns for applicants to fill up their slots for allocation. Preference is given to the public elementary graduates. Preference shall be given to the students with financial assistance. And then the school committee, now there is a school committee that screens and prepares each applicant's profile as basis for selection. Okay. Now, however, the good thing here is that we have since we are a PASCO accredited school, we are a quality school, we got more slots, no? We have more slots and we have been enjoying different slots already. So therefore, ang nangyayari, talagang yung lahat po ng grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, they are actually enjoying no the grantee or the ESC grant. Okay? So unless na lang po that they had violated or that they are not qualified rather based on certain qualifications presented later on, no? So but for this particular slide, please be reminded that there is a selection committee, no? And then how will you know that the ESC or your child is an ESC grantee, no? Meron pong logo doon sa ID, no? Kung wala man po, refer lang po tayo sa registrar's office, no? Ano po yung basic qualification? So, must be of Filipino citizenship, no? And who opt to enroll in ESC participating schools, meaning our school, and it shall start at grade 7, no? So, dapat po nag-start po lang talaga yon sa grade 7, then onwards. And then it covers 4 years of junior high school if the grantee is promoted. Now, how much is the grant no for grades 7 to 10? So yearly, currently po ang amount is 13,000. Ibig sabihin ito po yung parang ano na nila nare-receive na nila, not in cold cash pero forwarded po kasi yung sa school at dinededuct yun ng school once it is received, no? Ibig sabihin po kung halimbawang nag-full payment tayo agad, ibabawas po later on or ibabalik po yung 13,000 na yon later on. Okay? So, next, there are certain conditions for maintaining the education service contracting. So first is the grant rather is terminated in the following situations: if he or she drops for non-health reasons no in the middle of the year, mawawala po yung grantee na yon, or probably ma-retain sa same grade level. Okay? Or a grantee was suspended for more than 2 weeks or is dismissed or is expelled because of disciplinary violation. And pag nag-transfer siya sa non-ESC participating school. So yun din po yung gusto naming maiwasan, no? Um, Kapag nag-transfer po kasi tayo sa ESC school, sa isang school na hindi ESC, mawawala po yung grant sa atin. So sayang naman po, 'di ba? Yung grant na binigay sa atin. Okay? And then the applicant, so more likely po yung application lang po nito ay yung nasa grade 7. So yung sa mga grade 7 po, meron pang forms na ibibigay sa atin. If you have questions on it, send an email to registrar at spcmakati.edu.ph. So you would be needing the following: the PSA certified birth certificate, latest income tax return for the previous year, certificate of tax exemption, or municipal certification of unemployment of parents or legal guardian, and then filled out application form. And then we have the senior high school voucher program. So this is intended naman po for grade 11. No? So this is given to junior high school completers. So dapat po naka-grade sa grade 11 na. And then the public school and ESC completers are automatic voucher program beneficiary. So, ibig sabihin po nito, kung yung grade 10 ka, galing kang public school ng grade 10, nag-transfer ka dito ng grade 11, you are a beneficiary of the voucher program. Or kapag ESC completer ka, halimbawa po, no, yung mga grade 10 natin last year, nag-graduate and then they proceeded to grade 11, automatic po yun, no application needed. Okay? So, non-ESC grantees may also apply. However, at this point, no, close na po talaga yung application. Ino-open lang po yun for a short period of time. And then it covers the 2 years of senior high school if the grantee is promoted. So how much naman po ang senior high school voucher program? So sa ESC kanina, 13,000. Sa voucher program naman po, 18,000. So mas mataas po yung value ng voucher, no? So kaya po nanghihinayang kami para doon sa ibang mga grade 10, no, na lumilipat kasi nawawala yung grant nila sa ng benefit nila rather sa voucher program. Okay, and then what are the conditions now for the senior high school voucher program? So it covers 2 consecutive years of schooling. Transferring of strands is highly discouraged because whenever you transfer the strands, iba po yung set of subjects noon, no? And then voucher grants are given directly to the school. No physical money or check is given. Same thing with the ESC po, no? And the QVR certificate must be presented to the registrar's office. So the grant is terminated for any of the following situations. A student drops in the middle of the year, the student does not enroll in the following school year, the student is retained in the same grade level, transfer to senior high school within the year. And then transfer to a DepEd school. So medyo mawawala po siya. Okay? So I guess that's it. Thank you very much po for questions and clarifications. I hope we would have a little time later um, for to be able to answer. So those are for the academic update. Thank you very much, and Caritas Christi or Jetnos.
Thank you, Sir Sam, for sharing with us pertinent updates in our academic programs, for clarifying how we implement outcomes-based education in our institution, and for helping us understand better the education service contracting and senior high school voucher program that our students enjoy. Part of our mission to facilitate lifelong learning among our young Polonians is to instill self-discipline and high regard for rules and regulations. To give us general homeroom reminders, we call on our homeroom guidance team leader, Mr. Emmanuel Alden Ferrer. A round of applause, please.
Okay, so good morning and peace be with you to our dear teachers, sisters, parents, and dear Polinians. Okay, so I'm here to give you general homeroom reminders. First, no, let me start with the general guidelines for parents or guardians that can be found in our student manual or student handbook. Okay, so first in the guidelines is that the parents may not completely agree with all the provisions of the handbook or fully understand the reason behind the policies, but the school, remember, but the school expect them nevertheless to help their child or children comply or conform to them. Okay? So since po nung enrollment, pumirma tayo ng ating confirmation slip, no, it's very important also, no, to be reminded that we have to encourage, no, and also ask our students, no, to comply with our rules and regulations as well as the policies implemented in our institution. Okay. Next, if the parents feel that they need to ask for a conference with any of the teachers of their child or children, they may ask for an appointment. It is every teacher's aim to be of help in every possible way. Okay? Please take note po, no, that we need to secure an appointment, no, with our teachers, especially, no, during times na meron tayong urgent, no, or major concerns, no. We cannot just call them, no, through messenger or through other platform, no, without securing um appointment. Okay? Next, deficiencies in academics or in discipline necessitate the school to call parents for conferences. Parents' interest in the scholastic performance of their children often encourage the children to do better. Parents are likewise expected to attend all functions for parents like assemblies and quarterly meetings and other assemblies, no, that will be required. Okay, now let me go through the policies, no, in attendance and punctuality for hybrid classes. First, pupils or students who fail to attend the morning rites and goes beyond 9:35 will be considered as tardy for the whole day. Okay? This also applies sa ating online learners. No? They must be in the Google Meet, no, at exactly 9:30 on or before 9:30. Okay. So, ang ating pong grace period is 5 minutes lang po. Okay? Now, as mentioned before by Sir Sam, no, this is our rule for the shifting from hybrid to online class. In the case that the student will shift from hybrid to online classes due to some reason, the guardian or parent must submit a letter addressed to our director's principal, Sister Mirna, through the advisor asking permission to shift from hybrid to online classes. Now, please take note that this is subject to approval. No, failure to submit a letter means an excused absence on the part of the student. Now, there are two categories po kasi, no? So for the planned shifting, no, letter must be submitted at least a week before the date of shifting. Please take note, subject po ito for approval, no? Kung valid ang reason, it may be approved, no? But if not, no, we are still requesting for your pagsunod, no? So for emergencies, no, letter must be submitted within or up to 3 days after the day of shifting. Okay? So next, no, for the online class policy naman, okay, ganun pa din po, 9:30, supposedly nandun na ang ating learners or students for the morning rites and grace period of 5 minutes is given. Okay? Roll call policy, upon checking the attendance the teacher will only call the student thrice. No, if the student fails to respond, he or she will be marked absent for the particular subject. No? So kung may instances naman po na na-disconnect si student, no, pwede nyo naman din po i-communicate din later on kay advisor, no, through a letter kung bakit hindi siya naka-respond. So for on-camera policy, we're already on I think third year, no, ng ating implementation ng online class. So we are expecting na nakabili na po tayo ng ating mga web cameras. No, all students are required to turn their cameras on at all times. If they will not be able to turn their cameras on due to connectivity issues, they must inform their advisor and submit a letter signed by their parents stating the reason. Okay? So meron din po kasi tayong mga instances wherein yung student natin, no, naka-leave na po lahat ng kanilang mga classmate, nandun pa din sila sa Google Meet, no? So to ensure also that they are attending the class, no? So next, for Wi-Fi or internet connection problems or issues, no, parents should inform or write a letter to Sister Mirna through the advisor about the problem and send proof like a screenshot to their connection issues. Students who are not able to submit excuse letter will not will not be marked excuse in the attendance. No, students or pupils are excused if they get disconnected 5 to 15 minutes. Now, for absences, no, we have to take note that there are reasons naman to be excused. No, number one, sickness or injury, okay, death and of an immediate family, emergency cases, participation in off-campus competitions, na inclement weather and catastrophic event or natural disaster. In cases of prolonged absences, no, due to illness, parents are expected to communicate to the homeroom advisor with a medical certificate to be presented of the pupil. So the student is then issued an admission slip, no, to be given to the advisor and the classroom teacher upon return po ito. Okay? Now, our office has already opened or will be opening, no, the application for Fetcher's ID. Here are the requirements. No? Number one copy of a 2x2 picture of the authorized fetcher of the pupil or student. Okay? Then one copy of each 1x1 ID picture of the student to be fetched. Kindly take note, no, yung sa malaking box po, yung fetcher po ang ilalagay natin and sa baba is tatlong student, no? Kung meron tayong tatlong student na nag-aaral or anak na nag-aaral, no, to be fetched, tatlo po silang ilalagay dito. Okay? So procedures, kindly fill out the form thoroughly, no? The forms will be given starting on Monday to the homeroom advisors, no? You can note na lang po para po ito dun sa mga hybrid learners, no? You can ask the student to get, no, the application form, then the advisor will attach it to the homeroom notebook. Okay? Submit the accomplished form with the ID pictures and pay the fee in the finance office. Then the distribution of the fetcher's ID will be 2 weeks after the day of payment and filing. Reminders lang po, again, kindly take note that the fetcher's ID is meant only for the person authorized by the parents to pick up their child or children from school. So kung napo-foresee nyo po na hindi lahat ng oras si mommy at daddy ang makakapag-pick up, you have to apply also, for example, you'll ask the tita, no, to fetch your child. No, you also have to apply fetcher's ID po para sa kanya. Okay, kung sino po yung nag-a-appear doon sa picture sa fetcher's ID, doon lang po i-release, no? So the bearer is expected to wear the fetcher's ID when picking up the child or children. This is for the security of also of our dear Polinian students, no? This ID is not a permit to stand by along the corridors in the canteen or in any of the school vicinity. Neither does it authorize the bearer to go directly to the classroom to meet with any teacher, pupil, or student. Okay? Kung mapapansin po ninyo, no, especially kapag may mga parents na nag-aakyat, no, nagtutulong sa kanilang mga anak, no, to bear yung kanilang mga bag, no, after nun, right away bababa at lalabas na po sila. Okay? So hindi po natin pini-permit na maging magstay, no, or tumambay ang ating parents sa loob ng ating school vicinity. Okay? Kindly take note also of the application dates. First, for add grade levels, September 12 to 16 only. So you have 1 week, no? So maybe Monday or Tuesday, you can ask for the form, then file it within the week. Then for even grade level, September 5 to 9, 2022 only. Okay? Next, I have also issued, no, a responsible use of electronic devices agreement form. Kindly take note that our institution or the school recognizes the importance of the electronic devices not only as a platform of communication but also as a tool for learning and instruction, no? So the office of the homeroom guidance team leader has already released a hard copy of the form. Okay, you can secure it from the respective advisors. Then September 12 will be the full implementation of the responsible use of the electronic devices policy. So paano po ba ito nag-work? So number one, it states that the school is not liable for any damage, no, or loss doon sa devices. No? Then sa start po ng class, okay, meron pong storage box, no, ang mga advisor, they will be collecting, no, the devices of the student together. Then if it is required by their subject teachers to be used no in their subject, kukunin po ito kay advisor, then after ibabalik no, para din po maiwasan natin no na nade-distract yung mga estudyante, because there are some cases no that there are students during no the classes of their teachers nagse-cellphone po sila ng patago no, so we don't want that to happen. Okay, next, for our student locker, okay, for the high school department or for the high school students as well as the senior high, no, you can now apply for the student locker. No? Kindly secure application form from the staff at the information, fill out the application form, and pay corresponding fee at the finance office, which is 500 pesos po for the whole year. No? Present receipt and application form to the locker in charge together with the duplicate key. Then, important reminders, no? The locker is used by the student for the whole school year. Changing of the number of locker or transferring to another locker is strictly prohibited. Okay? The student is expected to vacate locker, clean and empty, free from repair, for the signing of clearance slips at the end of the school year. Do mag-i-issue po kasi ako ng kami no ng student clearance at the end of the school year. So the student is responsible for the care of the locker. Any damages done shall be charged the student's account. So the student is responsible for the padlock and key. Duplicate key must be properly labeled for safekeeping by the locker in charge. Well, we have to take note also for the grade school, we have the cubiclet or the cubby hole po, no? For the use of our dear students. Next, additional reminders for homeroom, no? Health and safety, all students are expected to bring their own hygiene kit. This may include the following: hand soap and alcohol, extra shirt and underwear, especially po for early years, no, to at least grade 4 to grade 5, no? Sanitary napkins, no, wipes, and other necessities, no? Celebrations po, kindly take note also, like birthdays, no, with food sharing is inside the school premises are not allowed. Okay? So parent-teacher communication, if the parent wishes to set an appointment with a homeroom advisor or teacher as well as the other offices, please fill out the parent-teacher conference form. Please also observe due diligence and courtesy when communicating with the teachers. Avoid communicating during wee hours in exemption of emergency. Siyempre, kapag meron tayong mga important emergencies na nag-emerge, no, we have that kailangan natin i-communicate with the advisor, we can communicate it through email. Okay? We discourage po the use of messenger. Okay? So, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. po ang communication hours natin for the advisors and other teachers. Okay? Now, for the canteen services, please take note that your child, or please order your child's food week before. Okay, through this link, you may take a screenshot of this po, no, to get the link or the QR code. Then you may also email the finance office at finance@spcmakati.edu.ph. And lastly, kindly take note also that we are requiring the students to have their homeroom notebook. Okay, homeroom notebook will be required in replacement of the student diary. Since wala tayong student diary for this school year, no, yung homeroom notebook, okay, will be used for the reminders, no, for the activities in the homeroom po. Okay, so with that, if you have questions, kindly email me also at htlhs@spcmakati.edu.ph. That's all. So thank you very much, my dear Polinians, Caritas Christi, or Jetnos.
Thank you, Sir Eman. For our dear parents, for your questions and clarifications, you may go to menti.com and use the code 3875637. Also, we have been receiving emails and messages in our Facebook account that some parents are trying to join using their personal account. If you have if you can contact them po, please tell them to tell them to use their child's SPCM account or their parent account. So if ever you know of parents are trying to join, again, using personal accounts, they might, they most likely will be declined po. So please tell them to use their an SPCM account to be able to access the meetings. Thank you po. One of our many prides as an institution is the harmonious relationship between the SPCM administration, faculty and staff, and our parents. Hence, we have had successful collaborations which have touched hearts and transformed lives. To give us a report on the activities of the Family Council, we'd like to call on our SPCM Family Council President, Mrs. Wendelin Maglaya. A round of applause, please.
Good morning and peace be with you, dear SPC sisters, SPCM educators, parents, and guardians. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to attend our first General Assembly. On behalf of the Family Council Board of Directors for school year 2021-2022, may I share with you the Family Council's initiatives and accomplishments for the last school year. Despite the trial times brought about by the pandemic, our Family Council was able to effectively perform our target deliverables to the SPCM community through collaboration and limited face-to-face transactions and activities. With this, let us recap the FC's accomplishments for school year 2021 to 2022. Last September 4, 2021, the parent officers were visually inducted via Facebook live stream. Some board of directors attended the on-site Eucharistic Mass and induction. The turnover of rights was also done virtually. Father Eugene Philip Baldomar, SVD, was the Mass presider for our parent officers induction. For the month of October, in collaboration with the Christian Formation Office, the Family Council and the SPCM family volunteers participated in the online family rosary, which was spearheaded by the CFO. Presented photos are only some of the numerous family volunteers who, from various levels, who joined the daily online family rosary for the month of October. In celebration of the World Teachers' Day last October 5, 2021, the Council sponsored cash tokens to the SPCM educators and support personnel. This initiative is our way of showing our gratitude and appreciation to them, and to further strengthen our partnership and affiliation to the SPCM community. Last October 16, 2021, we also conducted a parents' webinar entitled How to Maintain Successful Familial Relationship Through Personality Type. The said webinar was facilitated by Mr. Jerry Rosalada, a grade 4 and grade 9 parent who has been an HR trainer for more than 2 decades. The Family Council, in partnership with the Christian Formation Office, also initiated a parent admit recollection on December 11, 2021, which was facilitated by Reverend Father Bros F. Flores, SJ. To promote the sense of unity and oneness despite of the time of pandemic during Christmas season, the Family Council also collaborated with St. Paul College of Makati through Christmas ID. This was also participated by SPCM sisters, teachers, employees, and selected students and SPCM families. The online Family Christmas Raffle was held last December 17, 2021, prior to the students' online Christmas party. There were 3 winners per grade level, 2 minor winners of 1,000 pesos each, and 1 major winner who received 2,000 pesos. The cash prizes of the winning families were sent through GCash. In the spirit of Christmas season, the Family Council and some parents from various levels also donated for the SPCM employees' Christmas raffle last December 2021. We also extended our support for the Polylingap Christmas Drive, which benefited the street vendors, street children, and other people in need within Poblacion areas. Last February 12, 2022, through the Bundle of Joy project, the Family Council and the SPCM admin also extended support and assistance to the elderly SPC sisters at SPC Vigil House in Antipolo. With a continuous partnership with the Christian Information Office, the Family Council initiated Parents Lenten Recollection last April 2, 2022, which was facilitated by Father Medel Malonzo. The Family Council recognizes the exemplary contribution of the SPCM 15 and 30 years service awardees. They were awarded with cash tokens by the Family Council last May 9, 2022. This June, we also donated for the whiteboard installation in hybrid classrooms. These whiteboards are now being used in the hybrid classes for school year 2022-2023. Moreover, here are the other FC initiatives. So, first is the creation of the Family Council logo. To further strengthen the collaboration among grade levels and the whole SPCM community, the Family Council created an official FC logo which will embody the FC's role and the values we observe as one SPCM family. Also, we have revisited the Family Council bylaws and amended it accordingly. The Council also donated for the victim of Typhoon Marine. Tokens were also given to the sisters and school point persons who played vital collaboration with the Council. The Family Council also provided death aid for the respective family of the untimely demise of SPCM personnel and student and other stakeholders. Also, we have sponsored a portion of our fund for the SPCM Week. Let me share with you also the Family Council monthly board meeting and planning from August 2021 to April 2022. All board meetings are properly documented and signed upon through minutes of the meeting. The pertinent portfolio of all implemented FC projects and activities was already submitted to the homeroom team leaders for archiving and PASCO-related reference. In this next slide, let me walk you through the FC's financial report to date. The FC board ensures transparency in all the expenses incurred in each activity. All allotted budget were carefully deliberated and voted upon by all members of the Family Council board. We ensure the disclosure of all the financial status during the board's monthly meeting. The total expenses incurred to date by the Family Council's projects and initiatives amount to 275,085 pesos and 75 cents. From the beginning balance of 387,451 pesos and 95 centavos, which is a combined cash in bank and cash on hand fund, the remaining balance of FC fund is now 112,366 pesos and 20 cents. Please note that for the past 2 years, the school does not collect the FC fee from all the families, but it's only reactivated now for school year 2022-2023. Before I conclude the presentation today, may I personally extend my sincere gratitude to all the officers and members of the Family Council Board of Directors for selflessly giving their service to the Family Council and to their cooperation in making our projects possible for this past year. Thank you also to all the parent officers and other parents and guardians who continuously support the Family Council and the whole SPCM community projects. To the SPCM sisters, the Christian Formation Office, homeroom team leaders Miss Rose Gamit and Mrs. Luz Sarmiento, Mr. Raymond Samonte, and the whole academic team, student affairs team leader Mr. Cedric D., all the SPCM offices and personnel, maraming salamat po in your continuous support to the Family Council. Again, thank you for all the efforts and collaboration that you've given to the Family Council. Together, we are stronger. This ends our Family Council report. Thank you and keep safe, everyone.
Thank you, Mrs. Maglaya, for updating us with the activities of the Family Council. At this point, we shall now have our open forum where we will address the questions and concerns that have been raised on menti.com. My dear parents, let me redirect you again to go to menti.com and use the code 3875637 for your questions. At this point, I'd like to call back Sir Raymond Samonte to answer some of the questions that have been raised.
Thank you, Ms. Delcano. May I read some po no, of the questions that have been raised in our Menti? Can I also ask po the slide be the slide to be presented is yung may QA po para for other questions po from the parents, no? First question is the syllabus going to be sent for the parents every grading period? As soon as our Genio learning management system po is functioning already or is kumbaga po na-distribute na po lahat, we will be asking the teachers to send the syllabus for the whole school year po, no? So that everyone will be guided, ano na po yung mga topics, ano na po yung mga activities na gagawin po ng mga students. Okay? And then another question is about the number of learning tasks per quarter. We understood and we feel for the students on the different learning number of learning tasks. So what is going to happen this year? This year po, we really started to streamline the different learning tasks done per quarter. So what we are trying to come up with is the schedule of assessment for the whole school year. No, ibig sabihin po, define na yung mga schedule ng assessments para po hindi na patong-patong or hindi na siya sabay-sabay. At the same time, we strengthened our articulation of subjects, meaning the topics, so that there will be less number of learning tasks. No? But please do inform us also kung halimbawa pong nagpapatong pa rin siya, no, despite the fact na we were able to plan somehow on this learning tasks. Just inform po the subject teachers, no, or the advisors probably para mas magawan po namin siya ng paraan. Okay, and then how is SPCM preparing for students and for colleges and universities? Currently, the guidance office is, I think in the coming days, ano po tawag dito, magkakaroon po ng testing, no, for their college preparedness exam. And then something on the Filipino work values, if I'm not mistaken. And then there are also career week, no? There is also a career week. We are actually inviting different colleges, no, to present the different programs in their colleges and universities, so that our grade 12 specifically would be also helped, no, in their applications. Okay, so those are just some of the things that we are doing for the senior high school. By the way, a part of the senior high school program, lalo na po this year since medyo may face-to-face na po, we might be resuming for interested students yung ating pong work immersion program. No, this is where the grade 12 students are really going in different industries based on based on their strands. Doon po sila 'no, parang, yung term natin sa college is internship 'no or OJT. So meron pong gano'n, may work immersion po. So siyempre a little different or a little simple lang naman po unlike ng college internship, okay. But those are some things that, the activities that we are doing to prepare or to help them really um, go to the different colleges and universities. Now, also, if the student council later on or the SSG can provide certain programs or help us with some programs like kung meron bang college test reviews, etc. Although I understand some of the colleges now or universities does not require much of the tests 'no. So depende po. So titingnan po namin 'yan at kakausapin po namin yung mga grade 12 students about it, okay. What is the SPCM's view on the DepEd order for mandatory face-to-face? I think this was discussed last August 17. So again po 'no, if there are I don't want to repeat naman po the presentation. So just in case po that there are things that you had missed, especially on the mandatory face-to-face classes, you may view or watch po yung ating presentation last August 17 um, in our YouTube channel po. No? So if there are further questions on that, just let us know lang po. No? Um, how do you measure individual achievement and progress? Okay, regarding that assessments and tests. So I think I mentioned a while ago that we will be making a schedule of assessments no for the whole year so that everyone will be guided po, no. And but take note that there are formative and summative assessments. So meaning there are assessments that are leading towards the development of a skill, but they are not necessarily graded. No, they are meaning they are recorded but not graded. Then you also have summative assessments wherein they are assessed, they are graded and recorded as well. Okay. Um, how often are the parents updated in their child's progress? Do you use report cards? What we will be having for this school year, just like last year po, no, is the virtual release of the report cards or the grades rather through our online grading system. It will be released by quarter. However, however, on the last period or on the final quarter, if I am not mistaken, it will be printed po. No, yung printed na po yung card. So yung pinaka-distribution of cards po ay yung pinaka-final quarter but for the first, second, and third, it will be released virtually. No, syempre po we are also considering the health protocols so hindi pa masyado pwedeng gather pa ng mga ng ng people or stakeholders in the institution. So we kept it po muna virtually. Instructions also on how to access this online grades will be given through the SPCM mail. Next, what facilities and resources do you have? So I'm presuming lang po na new student po or new parent po ito. Um, Gymnasium, is there a gymnasium, library, sports field, playground, etc.? We have two gymnasiums, one for more likely the different programs and another for sports. We have two libraries also. We have one for the grade school and junior high and one for the senior high school. We have a music room. Um, art studio parang wala po 'no. The different laboratories also for TLE and ICT are present. Maybe I would if you would like to have a school tour, let us know. We could set an arrangement for you. Um, it was also presented po 'no during our open house 'no. So, just in case po you would like a school tour, you want to visit, just let us know po. Um Okay, similar question po yung iba kasi, hindi ko na po i-mention na, um, given the normalizing situation from lockdowns, what extracurricular activities do you offer? Currently, um, there is a limited offering for the extracurricular activities. DepEd even released a memo on this to to refrain po, no, from giving extracurricular activities. So more likely po yung mga field trip wala po muna tayo noon. Um, but what we have are the gift program. Um, I think Ms. Delcano and Mr. Cedric D was able to send the different programs for that. Just in case lang po that you still need more information on the gift program, um, you may send your email to saplhs@spcmakati.edu.ph po, no? So in the gift program, you have academic programs, sports, both meron pong offered online and on-site if I'm not mistaken. Okay? Um, will there be learning packets sent out like last year? So this year po kasi, what we did is to really focus on utilizing the textbook, number one, the learning management system, number two, and then our PBL resource book, and then the OBE learning journal. So yung ating pong binayaran regarding the learning packets, yun po yung OBE learning journal at saka po yung OBE or rather PBL resource book. Yun halos ganun din po kasi mga exercises or mga worksheets din po yung nandoon, no? Um, Homework policy, I think at this point po, no, since there is an asynchronous session, so more likely po meron po tayong mga assignments, no? Lalo na po papansin natin um, ilang hours lang naman po yung online, no? So siguro po mas made-define natin yung homework policy pagdating ng face to face kung sakali. Maybe what we can do right now, lalo na po yung especially yung mga weekends, 'di ba? Yun po yung gagawin namin na pag-uusapan po ng mga teachers to plan it out more carefully on the schedule of assessment. Okay, in terms of the safety policies and regulations, especially with COVID, no, who oversees this? There is a safety officer for our school. Overseeing the policies regulations. We have our school nurse to help us out also in carrying out in this as in this safety guidelines, no. Meron din po kasing binigay na tool ang DepEd po, that's the state school safety assessment tool. um, we are also basing it from there, no? Yung like yung mga protocols po, ano po yung kailangan i-set up, do? Yung pag-set up po ng isolation rooms natin or triage just in case that there is a possible case, yung mga ganun po. Okay, so again po, these were presented during the August 17 parents orientation po, no? May I suggest on the on-site online be scheduled in a straight week instead of per days only? Um, when 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 we designed the HEAL program Beyond Borders, it was considered po kasi to have an isolation days also for the teachers, no, and then for the students. If we are going to have it po kasi on one whole straight week, the concern would be for the batch 2 students. Remember po, meron tayong batch 1 and 2. In order for us to maximize also the number of students or to lessen po the number of students in a room. Parang limited lang po kasi siya. So far po kasi yun yung magwo-work na schedule. Kaya po, for both isolation at saka po yung batch 1 and 2. Kasi kino-consider din po kasi namin yung teachers at the same time yung mga students kasi kung isang buong straight week po yun, um, medyo magkakaproblema po in terms of the facilities naman, no? Are the students still wearing civilian? I think um, most of our students are already wearing the uniform, but there are quite few people, quite few students po um, in the civilian. But until when they be allowed? As far as the boutique is concern po, they gave us I think until October. Um, Kasi medyo dumami po yung ano 'no, dumami po yung, uniform orders 'no. So hopefully po matapos na po siya by the end of the month. Okay, what if the student have is a close contact to a COVID-19 patient? Will he or she be allowed to attend on-site classes? Yes po 'no. So again, our on-site platform or rather online, ito po pala, sorry, on-site pala, sorry, akala ko po online. Um, in case po na, close contact po sa COVID patient, we would really suggest to observe po muna yung mga isolation, days po natin 'no. Rather po na makahawa po tayo just in case kasi hindi natin alam kung asymptomatic pa tayo o hindi. Basta po nasunod yung isolation days, pwede po sila. And then, there are cases, that a COVID positive patient will not get a negative result. Would a medical certificate suffice? Yes po 'no, as long as the medical certificate nagsabi naman po na nag-isolate na yung bata, okey naman po yun basta, either the negative, result or meron pong, isolation date 'no. Okay, fetcher's ID po, so I think Sir, Eman po can answer later. Regarding the solo parent ID issued by the Makati City Hall, um, maybe what we can do is to send an email or communicate with the finance office. Pasensya na po, hindi ko rin po masyado alam. But maybe what we can do is communicate with the finance office po, no, for that concern. Okay. For the ESC, ano po yung qualification? This is again good for grade 7. All of the grade 7 students, I think, bibigyan po ng form yung mga qualified po base po sa minention ko kanina na dapat Filipino citizen, dapat nasa grade 7, etc. No? Um, Maybe what you could do is communicate po with the grade 7 advisor and or the registrar po. No? Um, Okay. Is it possible for teachers to advise, no, if the book of the student is needed the next meeting? I think this is somehow were discussed during our faculty meeting. Lalo na po yung mga mabibigat yung bag. We feel you po, no, lalo na para doon sa mga bata. So talaga pong as far as I know, the advisors were given or were asked to mention the set of books, no, to be brought lang or to be used for a particular day para not all naman po are being brought, and some can be left in the cubby holes. So yun po. For the parent account, if you do not have one yet, you may um, send an email to info@spcmakati.edu.ph po, no? Pasensya na po, I also in connection with another concern, um, may nagse-send po kasi minsan ng mga emails, hindi po agad namin nasasagot. Pasensya na po kasi minsan madami din po yung dating ng mga message. So minsan nagpapatong-patong po siya. So may we ask for your understanding on that end, no? But we'll try to answer it as soon as we can and as fast as we can po, no? Okay. Some of the questions po kasi are more of homeroom. Okay po. The student handbook is currently being revised. So hopefully po by before December or by November po or October, ma-distribute na po namin yung revised student handbook po, no? Okay. Next po is the next request. I think this is a request, no? School release of school calendar. Yes po, we will be releasing a calendar rather of school activities. We will just be asking approval from our directors. But as soon as it is approved, it will be again distributed via um, email, no? Via online email blast po. Okay, regarding the on-site days, for the coming months, based po doon sa ating orientation ng HEAL program for August, for September and October, more likely po 6 months siya. Pagdating po ng November, depende po kasi kay DepEd pa, no? If ever po that we will be allowed to extend our hybrid, baka po magbago ng kaunti, no? Titingnan po natin baka puwedeng dumagdag or kung paano po, 'no? Um, okay po, the gift program po, again po, if you are interested on the clubs or the different, co-curricular, activities, you may, send an email po at, satlhs@spcmakati.edu.ph. Okay, academic distinctions po yung academic awards. This has been discussed po again last August 17. Yes, there would be an academic excellence awards given to all grade levels po from grade 1 to 12 po. No? Kasi nag-release din po ng memo ang DepEd na mabibigyan na po lahat. No? For all grade levels, I mean. Okay, I'm not so sure po kung related dito yung recognition of grade schoolers. So, what we will be doing is recognition for the academic excellence for per quarter, I mean. And then yung convocation po natin to limit also the number of people here in school, we'll also do it virtually po, no? Virtual convocation po muna tayo. Okay po, regarding po doon sa checks and PDC, we'll try to ask or we'll try to forward po yung concern sa finance office po, no? Regarding the Holy Communion, yes, it is a part po of the activities of the Christian formation activities po for grade 3. Okay, how will we know if our children is qualified in the ESC? First po, tingnan po natin kung dun sa ID po ay may nakaprint po na ESC logo. Kung hindi naman po, you may verify it at the registrar's office, no? Registrar at spcmakati.edu.ph po. Okay, let me read lang po kasi medyo nagsisimilar na po yung iba. Okay, there is a comment. Is there a way to improve po the submission of student activities? Sige po, we'll try to work it out. Paano po? But it's more likely po that the submission is only through Genyo. Yun po yung napagkasunduan po ng mga teachers namin last time, but we'll try to look further on the submission of requirements po. There is a comment here. May I just read? Thank you, SPCM, for having clear guidelines for communicating the programs effectively to parents. Thank you din po. Okay, so do you allow a shifting hybrid to online if out of town events? For those scenarios po, as mentioned by Sir Eman a while ago, you just have to write a letter to the directress office, to our directress principal for approval po, no? So that you could shift from hybrid to online. Okay. Are there quarterly tests this year? Wala pa po na quarterly test tayo. Basically, dahil po meron tayong mga online learners, instead, our quarterly assessment would more likely go into the or more likely be in a form of culminating task. It is a performance task for the different subjects po, no? Or sometimes po combine po yung mga subjects na iyon. Okay. Need pa po ba magpa-register ng grade 8 for ESC? If you are already an ESC last year, no need na po, no? No need na po to register. Ang basically lang po ang mag mag-a-apply lang ay yung grade 7 po. So once you had enjoyed already the ESC grant last year, continuous po yun, no? Okay, noted po on the comfort room. We'll try to communicate po with our general services. Okay, regarding po no doon sa soap, medyo iniiwasan lang po namin ng kaunti dahil remember po sa COVID 'pag nagkaroon po sila ng mga contact, baka po mamaya yung virus nung isa ay nahawa dun sa isa. Kaya po ang hinihiling sana namin is that each student would have each his or her own hygiene kit, 'no? Parang sarili po nila, para sa kanila lang pong gamit 'yun, para hindi po share kasi mas prone po talaga yoon sa, ano po 'no, anong tawag dito, sa contamination, okey. Okay po, are you going to allow the student to edit their account photo? We will be uploading lang po the ID pictures, the updated ID pictures po 'no, pero para din po maiwasan natin yung ibang mga scenarios po kasi before when we allow the account photo to be edited by the students kung ano-ano pong, kung ano-ano pong picture 'no. So yun. Okay, so some of the items po would be taken care of by Sir Eman. So, Sir Ferrer, may I turn over the floor to you?
Okay po. Thank you po, Sir Sam. I was able to summarize no some of the important question regarding homeroom, no. Yung iba naman po nasagot na ni Sir Sam. However, I wish to clarify some things also lang po. No, number one, yung sa fetcher's ID. Okay? Una, it's very important po na mindful tayo doon sa nilagay natin sa student ID na info kung pick up ba, commuter, or siya ay for service. Number two, all parents no or other people na magpi-pick up or possible na mag-pick up no ng bata ay required na magkaroon ng fetcher's ID. Okay, kasi may tanong dito, more secure way of picking up students pre-pandemic, there is an approved pick-up card which is yung fetcher's ID. Okay, kindly bear in mind po that this is for our students' safety also. Okay, there is also a question na tinatanong, what if kung commuter magko-commute siya through Grab? no? May I ask lang po doon sa nagtanong ng question, no, yung Grab po ba yun or yung Grab car ba yun ay magiging regular na um, tag taga-sundo niya or not, no? Kung regular, yes, no? But kung hindi po regular or kumbaga by book basis lang siya, no? Kindly take note na case-to-case basis pa rin siya. Okay, you may communicate it with the advisor in special instance. For example, nasa abroad kayo or hindi nyo talaga masusundo yung bata and you'll be asking someone, we have to confirm it properly po sa advisor. Okay? Kasi alam po naman po natin, meron din nag-raise ng concern dito na uso ngayon ang kidnapping. No? So, in response to that, medyo minamadali na din po namin yung releasing ng fetcher's ID. Kindly take note po ha. Okay. All of the parents, okay, including yung other na foresee ninyo na pwedeng mag-pick up sa bata in some emergency cases, no, are required to have their fetcher's ID. Especially lalo na pag ang nakalagay doon sa bata, sa student ID ni bata is for pick up, no, kailangan talaga namin i-verify na talagang ipipick up itong batang ito, nitong particular person na to, para wala pong makalusot. Okay? As well as din dun sa mga commuters, no? For parents also na ang anak ay commuters, no? You should also secure tawag doon fetcher's ID, no? For the cases naman po na if ever na hindi nyo pa sasabayin yung anak nyo sa service, okay, and kayo yung magpi-pick up. Okay, now, so far, kailan lang student handbook, I think sagot na po yan ni Sir Sam. Now, I also would like to reiterate regarding the student discipline kasi meron pong nagtanong dito. Okay? So for the student discipline po, no, it's responsibility, no, ng school to discipline its student body. Okay? Therefore, for major offenses, okay, meron po tayong tinatawag na Student Welfare Committee. Okay? Yung Student Welfare Committee na yun ay binubuo ng ako, yours truly, the homeroom guidance team leader, the grade level advisors, Christian Formation Services head, and the guidance staff facilitator. Okay? We make sure na every time na nagkakaroon ng infractions, no, sa ating school rules and policies, okay, ginagawan po namin ito ng action, no? So meron tayong steps for disciplinary action. Okay? For nasa 3.1 po 'yon ng ating student handbook. So for minor, major, and grave offenses. Number 1, unang step ay reporting. Okay? Kung sino yung naka-witness or naka-observe ng infractions na yun or ng paglabag sa school rules and policy must report it to the homeroom advisor. Then the homeroom advisor will create an incident report and escalate per se the concern to me as their homeroom guidance team leader. Then we will have the inform and step 2, inform and dialogue. We will talk to the student and also inform the parent, no, of that particular infractions, no. Then for major offenses, no, doon na din papasok yung sa third step yung inquire and convene, no. After the inquiry, okay, of the reported incidents, no, we will convene now the what we call the SWC, no, for deliberation, okay. Then last is yung feedback. Okay, we will be giving feedback regarding doon sa result ng case both sa student and sa parents. Okay? So meron din naman tayong tinatawag na disciplinary action for child protection related offenses. Okay? So ang steps doon, they report, debriefing, inform and dialogue, inquire and convene, and feedback. No, ang kaibahan lang po noon is ang ating disciplinary sanctions, no, meron tayong probation, maximum probation, community service, and recommendation for transfer if very malala yung case ng student. Okay? But however, we believe, no, that our discipline to our student must be restorative because we also consider that students come from different contexts. Okay, we have to put that in mind, no? That each student in our classroom is unique the way they are. Okay? So, if you have concerns relating to the infractions, related po sa infractions ng school rules and policies, no, you may communicate it, no, doon sa ating homeroom advisors. Then the homeroom advisors will communicate it to me and will do the proper uh, process po. Okay? So, with that, so far yun lang naman po yung gist ng mga questions. I think wala naman ng other concern.
Sir Eman, may I add lang po, no, kasi there are still questions coming in. Thank you po, no, for those questions. Um, One question that I think I forgot to answer is regarding the school bus service. Meron pong mga nagtatanong regarding the school bus service. Um, Apparently po kasi hindi kami yung technically nag-handle ng bus service, but we will be informing po, no, the ones in charge regarding the bus service kung wala pa po, no. I think there is an area based on the report, there is an area na medyo hirap po talaga yung bus service. Baka rin po in case na one of the parents would like to provide or be a provider for the bus service, inform nyo lang po kami, no, sa General Administrative Services sa GASO po. Baka makatulong din po tayo, no, to help the others po in their plight on the bus service. Um, Next po is there is a comment actually here that some of the universities disregarded the memo from the DepEd regarding face to face. First and foremost, it is a DepEd order, so meaning po it applies po to the different schools. We would not like naman po to emulate, no, defiance. So again, we would appreciate it better kung we are working hand in hand po. That's why we are lobbying on the kind of on the continuation of our hybrid program, no, and then for the online learning also, for after November po, no. So mas maganda po na may approval din nila para hindi naman po tayo kolorum basta-basta. And remember po, no, we are teaching our students, no, to follow also. So therefore ganun din po yung gagawin natin in our authority and on the authorities po. So better po na alam nila at approve po nila, not just disregarding it po, no. Um, Next is ano pong tawag dito? There is also a comment po, we hope and pray that we can retain our preferred modality. Yun din po talaga yung gusto namin, or ang gusto na basically po nung institution. So we pray with us po, no, and keep the conversation going so that we would be able to reach to a better consensus po, no, parang win-win situation. Okay. um all right, there is another comment po dito regarding online lessons for the teachers to use a different room probably. Baka po naririnig nung iba, yung ibang teacher. So we are trying to come up po with a certain arrangement for the workstation on how we could better have na online classes po. Kasi more likely po yung ibang teachers po nandito sa school, sabay-sabay din po kasi yung classes. So nag-a-arrange po kami, no, ng parang arrangement kung saan po talaga sila pwede ilagay. Okay, I guess that's it. Okay, one comment is regarding the English policy. So thank you po for bringing that up, no, because we really need to step up also on our English competence. Maybe we'll forward it also to our English department, so that we could be able to strengthen the English competencies of both the teachers and the students. Okay. So we would like to answer other questions, but medyo nag-extend na po talaga kami ng time because supposedly po 11 ay election of officers na. But if there are really emerging questions po on your end, please let us know in info@spcmakati.edu.ph, or just keep them coming po in this in menti.com. We still would be able to read it within the day. No? So thank you very much po and have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you, Sir Sam and Sir Eman, for answering the questions of our parents. And thank you to dear parents for showing your interest and showing your support to the school by actually asking a lot of questions. So we appreciate it. And as someone who has been present in most of the orientations in monitoring the questions, I think today we have received the most number of questions. So thank you, dear parents, for really showing us that you are participating. We would like to remind everyone that the meeting with the homeroom advisors will follow after this general assembly. I believe all of you are already in your respective classes links. Some, I think, are transferring from one Google Meet to another. Probably po you can stay in one Google meeting, and then should you have concerns to the advisor of your child in another grade level, you can just do so, because basically the advisors will be telling you the same things po, ano? Okay po. And as this assembly reaches its end, we are grateful to the Almighty Father for giving us the gift of one another, and for a new academic year of many blessings and opportunities to look forward to. To lead us into prayer, we invite one of our CLV teachers, Miss Marilu Ateo.
Let us be aware of Christ's presence in our hearts and adore his holy name. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty God, we thank you. We want to thank you for being with us throughout this meeting. We started this meeting with you, and we are closing it with you. Thank you for making this assembly a success. We would not have done it without you, because many are our plans, but it is you who established them. Lord, help us to fear you and walk in your ways. Be our covering and a wall of fire every day of our lives. We ask this through our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Amen. Mary, our mother and model, pray for us. Saint Paul, our patron, pray for us. Father Louis Chauvet and the First Sisters, intercede for us. May the love of Christ impel us now and forever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Miss Marilu. Again, thank you very much to everyone for being with us today. And we hope that we will be able to see you again in our other activities. May God bless us all, and Caritas Christi Urget Nos.